Hey, welcome back everyone. This is Uncle Frank, and I am not a financial advisor, nor is any of the content to be construed as financial advice. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, guys, let's figure all this stuff out. We'll start with Thursday night. Oil surged as markets braced for the possibility that Israel could strike Iran's energy industry, the latest potential escalation of a conflict that began almost 1 year ago when Hamas attacked Israel. Global benchmark Brent crude climbed near 77 after U.S. President Joe Biden indicated Israel was weighing an attack on Iran's oil infrastructure as a response to Iran's missile attack on Israel, itself a response to Israel's killing of leaders of Hezbollah and Hamas and an Iranian general. So then we saw oil set for biggest weekly gain in 2 years on Middle East risk. Oil headed for its strongest weekly increase in 2 years on fears that Israel may decide to strike Iranian petroleum facilities in retaliation for a missile assault on its territory. Then the market and the economy dodged another black swan, striking port workers to return to work Friday as negotiators reach an agreement on wages. Striking members of the International Longshoremen's Association will be back to work on Friday, the union announced Thursday evening, as it reached a tentative deal with the management group representing shipping lines, terminal operators, and port authorities. And then Friday morning, jobs report crushes expectations. The U.S. economy added over 250,000 jobs in September, much more than expected. The unemployment rate dipped to 4.1%. So as expected, Treasury yields rise after blowout jobs data. It's 8:09 Central, and at the time of this recording, about 20 minutes before the bell, all the indexes are in the green. S&P up 0.86, Dow Futures up 0.60%, NASDAQ up 1.24, Russell 2000 up 1.5, crude oil giving some back at 74.02, gold diving down 26.30 at 2652.90. From Zero Hedge early this morning, America last. After spending $640 million on migrants and billions abroad, FEMA is suddenly broke. The Biden-Harris administration's America Last policies have left the country vulnerable. Between draining the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, sending hundreds of billions in cash and equipment to Ukraine, such as electrical transformers that are now needed for Hurricane Helene, and FEMA spending $640 million to help migrants, the agency tasked with emergency preparedness is now broke and doesn't have enough money to get through hurricane season, which typically lasts through November. There is nothing to debate here. This woman and the people behind her who really run the country are running it into the ground. She doesn't deserve to be our first female president, and Biden may resign and swear her in at any moment. A vote for her is a vote against your own nation. It's as simple as that. She has failed at everything we entrusted her with. It's that simple. Hey, this policy begins this month, so Uncle Frank's going to report on it. Which dollar bills will be rejected in stores starting in October of 2024? In an effort to improve the security of the monetary system, the Bureau of Engraving, the Secret Service, and the Advanced Counterfeit Deterrence Steering Committee have launched an initiative to require U.S. stores, businesses, banks, and ATMs to stop accepting certain dollar bills beginning this October. According to various reports, the dollar bills that will be rejected starting this month will be all those that fall into the mutilated category. Currently, the U.S. Fed Reserve issues dollar bills in 7 denominations: 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 50, and 100, while the 500, 1,000, and $10,000 bills have been out of production for some time. They are still in circulation. The only scenario in which the latter can be rejected is if they fall into the mutilated category like any other unit. Now, here's the fine print. Typically, banknotes get mutilated because of fire, misuse, or even deterioration from burying money, according to the Fed Reserve. That is, those that have cuts or damaged ends and are discolored. So, here's a little tip. The Fed now believes a bill is mutilated if it has cuts, damaged ends, or are discolored. What can you do with your mutilated dollar banknotes? You will have to contact the Bureau of Engraving and Printing directly. It will require filing a mutilated currency claim. The Bureau of Engraving and Printing provides a step-by-step guide to redeeming your mutilated currency. In addition to the implementation of this new security measure, the Fed Reserve will introduce new designs for the $5, $20, $50, and $100 bills. The introduction of the new $50 bill will take place in 2028, the 20 in 2030, the 5 in 2032, and the $100 bill between 2034 and 2038. Well, guys, I think they just gave you their schedule on digital money. What's Uncle Frank going to do about it? Start accumulating a variety of precious metals. Not investment advice or advisor. Well, I think I'm at 95% on this one, so buckle up, Buttercups. This could turn out to be an interesting weekend. Oil prices could shoot up 20 per barrel if Iranian production sees a hit, says Goldman. Iran, which is a member of OPEC, is a key player in the global oil market. It produces almost 4 million barrels of oil per day, an estimated 4% of the world's supply. But then early this morning from CNBC, satellite imagery shows Iranian oil tankers at country's major terminal disappearing amid fears of Israeli counterattack. Yeah, maybe you could hide them all. Markets have been on edge over the possibility of an Israeli retaliation after Iran launched a missile attack against the Jewish state earlier this week. Yes, I believe there is going to be a response. Stay tuned. And an email from AMC this morning, last chance to pre-order the exclusive Bat Signal popcorn bucket. Well, Joker Part 2 drops today in theaters, and from The Hollywood Reporter an hour ago, Joker Folie à Deux earned $7 million in box office previews, notably less than first film. And from 2 hours ago, Joker 2's box office projections drop, budget much higher than original. One of AMC's competitors made headlines on Wednesday. Marcus stock hits 52-week high. Should you wait for a dip or buy now? Shares of the Marcus Corporation touched a new 52-week high of $16.17 on Wednesday. The stock pulled back to end the trading session at $16.09. The company's shares have surged 44% in the past 3 months, outpacing the industry's gain of 11.1%. The stock has also outperformed the S&P 500 and the consumer discretionary sector's increase of 2.6% and 7.6% respectively. In the same time frame, other stocks like AMC Entertainment Holdings, Target Hospitality, and Six Flags Entertainment have declined 13.1%, 11.4%, and 32.3% respectively. Archer Aviation is starting to show up on the radar, guys, and here's the proof. Notable Thursday option activity, ACHR. Archer Aviation saw options trading volume of 53,790 contracts, representing approximately 5.4 million underlying shares, or approximately 45.5% of Archer's average daily trading volume over the past month of 11.8 million shares. Particularly high volume was seen for the $3.50 strike call option expiring January 17th, with 37,929 contracts trading so far at the time of this report, representing approximately 3.8 million underlying shares of ACHR. To the right is a chart showing Archer's trailing 12-month trading history with the $3.50 strike highlighted in orange. We AMC shareholders are all too familiar with this hustle. The market makers and predatory short hedge funds target struggling or pre-revenue companies. They use targeted shorting, naked shorting, misuse dark pools and algos, and they do it so millions in options premium can be raked off the table on every expiration. Meanwhile, the regulators pretend this is all normal price discovery. It's all a joke, people. The only time we win is when they make a serious mistake or a surprise event or Swan comes along. This isn't even a casino. At least you win once in a while at the casino when you guess right. We guess right in the markets all the time, and the bad actors steal from retail in full view of the regulators. Archer Aviation fans need to keep an eye on this developing story because it's Stellantis that's going to be manufacturing Archer Midnights down in Georgia. The United Auto Workers Union said on Friday that members at Stellantis' Los Angeles Parts Distribution Center voted in favor of authorizing a strike if the carmaker failed to settle grievances with the union over investments in the U.S. Speaking of Stellantis, they've sure been busy buying Archer Aviation stock this year. Back in March 8th, they bought 3.6 million shares at $433. March 12th, they bought 1.6 million shares at $471. March 14th, 1.6 million shares at $516. March 18th, 1.5 million shares at $509. And then in July, 17.4 million shares at $316, and then in August, 2.98 million shares at $335. I'm sure you guys heard about this one. Bank of America customers reported account outages, some seeing balances of zero. Bank of America glitch that stressed customers coast to coast is now resolved. But did you know JP Morgan and B of A no longer see a half-point Fed rate cut in November, or Warren Buffett has sold about $10 billion of B of A stock after slashing his Apple stake by nearly 60%. Breaking today, 30 countries have confirmed their participation in the October BRICS Summit. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov held a news briefing Thursday about the BRICS Summit in Russia later this month. Ryabkov said that 30 delegations had confirmed their participation and the membership of new countries might be considered, including Turkey, which submitted its bid to join the organization in September. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren is warning regulators that Citigroup has become too big to manage and that federal regulators should enforce stricter restrictions on the bank. You guys remember AMC's chief investment banker, Citi, the author of The Ape and The Reverse Split, a company with a long-standing sell recommendation against the stock and a notorious short seller and/or put holder against the stock, right? Anyway, in a letter to the acting comptroller of the currency, Michael Hsu, Warren stated that Citi has suffered with its risk management and operational controls, along with many other management crises, according to Reuters. Quote, according to your own framework, it is clearly time to protect the American financial system by imposing growth restrictions on Citi, Warren wrote in the letter. But on Tuesday, the Fed Reserve announced that it had ended its decade-old enforcement action it filed against Citi back in 2013 regarding the firm's anti-money laundering policies. You can't make this shit up. You might be surprised to learn that Andrew Leff's firm, Citron, returned to research with a bullish call on prison stocks, and then Andrew's fraud trial was moved to September of next year. Turns out the Leon Black rape case will head to trial in New York federal court. Apollo Global Management co-founder Leon Black must face claims that in 2002 he raped a 16-year-old girl in Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan townhouse, a New York federal court ruled. Adam Aron served as senior operating partner at Apollo Management for 9 years just prior to joining AMC. South Korea extends short ban, threatens life in jail for illegal bets. South Korea is extending a ban on stock short selling through March 30th of next year and is planning harsher penalties for illegal trades. For Ripple XRP fans like me, the struggle against Darth Gensler continues. Will US SEC appeal block Bitwise XRP ETF launch? SEC's appeal of XRP lawsuit has triggered a paradigm shift for the coin. The appeal is casting doubts on Bitwise XRP ETF application. It remains unknown if the filing will be accepted or rejected. Ripple may file a cross appeal to challenge the SEC's legal move. I don't know what to tell you guys. I've been in this coin longer than I've been in AMC, but maybe this is the last pathetic hurrah of Gary Gensler before they shit-can his ass when Trump wins in November. Meanwhile, at Ripple XRP, it's business as usual from yesterday. Ripple and Mercado Bitcoin partner to transform crypto-enabled cross-border payments in Brazil. Ripple's enhanced end-to-end payment solution is now available in first Latin America market. Ripple, the leading provider of digital asset infrastructure, today announced the launch of Ripple Payments in Brazil. Mercado Bitcoin, Latin America's largest cryptocurrency exchange, will be the first customer in Brazil to utilize Ripple's managed end-to-end payment solution, which enables businesses to easily leverage blockchain for faster, cheaper, more efficient cross-border payments in a secure manner. That's what it's all about. Customers can move funds across the globe 24/7, 365, and settle payments in a matter of minutes, reducing time and friction to make moving value dramatically more efficient. Okay, so it's 3:54 p.m. Central now. I've got XRP at 0.5342. On your screen is the 7-day. We've given up just under 9% over the past 7 days. Let's zoom in and take a different view. Okay, so here's the daily. We're up just under 2%, 1.98%. Have we put in a bottom? Not sure yet. Ask me again tomorrow. You see what I did there, guys? I started working on this vid pre-market and finished it up after the close. Stocks recoup weekly losses after jobs report blowout. Stocks soared on Friday as investors welcomed the key monthly jobs report that showed hiring remains robust. S&P up 0.90%. The Dow up 0.81%. NASDAQ gained 1.22%. The Russell up 1.5%. Crude oil up only 0.93, 74.64, but that's a gain of 1.26%. Gold lost 7 or 0.26% to finish at 26.72. So Uncle Frank, what's next? Well, the port strike is out of the way for now. But when will Israel attack Iran, and will that drag other nations like ours into the mix? What will that do to oil prices and inflation data? At the time of this recording, there is no Fed meeting scheduled for October. Go look at the FOMC meeting schedule and see for yourself. So we will have to wait until November for the next rate decision if we get one at all. You might be surprised to learn the FOMC holds 8 regularly scheduled meetings every year. Now, beginning Thursday, October 10th, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, initial jobless claims. But more important, that's CPI. Friday, October 11th, PPI, the Producer Price Index, and Consumer Sentiment. All right, so that's the big action for next week. October 15th and 16th is Ripple's Swell Conference in Miami. October 22nd to the 24th is the Big BRICS Summit in Russia. Did you notice the Ripple Conference is exactly 1 week before the BRICS conference. And now XRP has been deemed not a security. I don't care if the SEC appeals. The bottom line is, for right now, it's not a security. They may have some important stuff to release ahead of the BRICS conference. Also, understand, we could get some earth-shattering and market-roiling headlines out of the BRICS conference, and right before the U.S. election. This could profoundly affect crypto, precious metals, the U.S. bond and stock markets, not to mention the dollar. I expect Bill Wang of Archegos to be sentenced on Monday, October 20th. I expect Archer Aviation's next earnings release to land around November 6th, 7th, or the following week on the 14th. Obviously not confirmed yet. Joby is also unconfirmed for November 6th. I currently forecast AMC third Q24 earnings to be released around November 13th. Zacks thinks we're going to lose 9 cents per share. I think we will post a surprise profit. Not investment advice or advisor. I predicted we'd beat Q3 of 2023 at the box office, and we did. And by the way, Q3 of 2023 was the best third quarter of our entire history. Can we trust Adam Aron with this good news? It remains to be seen. We are 32 days to the November 5th election. Did you know the next Fed meeting is scheduled for November 6th and 7th, literally the day after the election? What are they trying to tell us with that? If Trump wins, we know it's time for Gensler to go, right? How will that affect the crypto markets? GameStop's next earnings date is unconfirmed for December 3rd or 4th after market hours typically. By the way, December 17th and 18th will be the last FOMC meeting of the year, and that very same week, Friday the 20th, will be the year's last triple witching day. By the way, we are 108 days from inaugurating a new president, January 20th, 2025. Hey, I want to thank you for watching, and please remember to hit the like button after this slide if you enjoyed the presentation. Subscribe to the channel and set the alert so you're notified when I have new information to share. See you at the bell.